latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.
Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And it really wasn't a bad day today, minus the wind. As we take a look from our Billy Goat camera down at the beautiful Columbia River with the Methow River flowing into it, the Pateras Brewster area with a few high clouds up that way. Lots of wind there too, and lots of thunderstorm activity all over the place last night. We will show you some great video of the lightning coming up a little bit later on, but we need to worry about right now, we've seen it all day, we're under a red flag warning. That means strong winds and low humidities make it favorable for any potential fire start or fire spread with the low humidities. The good thing for us today, our humidities were not that low. We were at about 20 to 25% throughout the day. We certainly had the winds to have a red flag warning, but really the humidities didn't quite get there, and that's good news for us, but still plenty of wind, and we have more wind to talk about a little bit later on. We'll do that in your weather segment. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A high-speed police pursuit ended with an arrest Thursday night in the Rock Island area. Traffic came to a halt Friday on U.S. Highway 2 in the Monitor area following a two-vehicle crash that resulted in injuries to both drivers. And 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse remains hopeful that the House can rise above its political differences and adopt an immigration reform bill. But first, we begin tonight. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett reports a climber fell several hundred feet while descending Mount Stewart. It was just before noon on Sunday. The 32-year-old male Seattle resident, identified as Varen Sadavarte, was eventually pronounced dead at the scene. A 911 cellular call to the Kitcom Dispatch Center was received from the subject's climbing partner at 11:47 a.m., reporting the fall. That call was relayed to the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. The incident location was determined to be on the southeast aspect of Mount Stewart, just below the fall summit, east of the true summit. Due to the high elevation, about 8,900 feet, search and rescue coordinators requested a hoist-capable helicopter via State Emergency Management. Naval Air Base Whidbey Island accepted the mission, and Navy Black Hawk helicopter crew responded. The aircraft was over the scene by 2:40 p.m., and it was confirmed that the climber was deceased. The body was hoisted from the scene and transported to SAR staging. That was at the Fish Hatchery in Leavenworth. The Navy crew returned to the mountain to hoist out the climbing partner of the victim, who stated he was not comfortable descending the mountain after witnessing that accident. The climbing partner informed SAR coordinators that his friend had successfully summited Mount Stewart earlier in the morning and descended to the false summit before noon. Just as they began to descend toward the Cascadian couloir, the victim lost his footing and slid several hundred feet down a steep slope, landing in rocks. Other climbers in the area eventually scrambled down to the area of the fallen climber, advising he was unresponsive. A high-speed police pursuit ended with an arrest Thursday night in the Rock Island area. Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdahl reports a deputy was on routine patrol when he spotted an approaching vehicle on Highway 28 that failed to dim his headlights. The deputy turned around to stop the vehicle, but another westbound vehicle got between the deputy and the suspect vehicle. At this point, the deputy had activated his lights and the siren, but rather than pull over, the second vehicle sped up. The deputy decided to pursue the second vehicle for failing to yield to an emergency vehicle, and the chase was on. The Pathfinder continued to accelerate, running through stop signs and reaching speeds of up to 80 miles an hour. The driver finally pulled over on Parkway Drive in Rock Island. He shut off the car and placed his hands out the window. He was identified as 33-year-old Joshua J. Clark of Kashmir. He was found to have a DOC warrant for escape from community custody and felony warrants out of Chelan County for possessing methamphetamine and heroin with intent to deliver and escape first degree. He He was arrested and booked at the Chelan County Jail without further incident. He was also booked for the additional Douglas County charges of felony eluding and driving with a suspended license. Traffic came to a halt Friday on U.S. Highway 2 in the Monitor area following a two-vehicle crash that resulted in injuries to both drivers. It happened in the 2 o'clock hour when a motorcycle driven by 63-year-old Richard Goodfellow of Manson rear-ended a pickup truck as the two vehicles were yielding the right-of-way to an emergency vehicle that was approaching from behind. Both Goodfellow and the driver of the pickup, identified as 66-year-old Karen Jackson of Yakima, were transferred to Confluence Health for treatment. The roadway was closed for about an hour after the accident. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse remains hopeful that the House can rise above its political differences and adopt an immigration reform bill. Republican leaders have put off until this week a compromised GOP immigration bill after the House rejected a conservative version on Friday. Newhouse, a co-sponsor of H.R. 6136, says the bill is an attempt at compromise.
The inclusion of the seasonal guest worker, ag labor issues, solutions there, I think will help some people who maybe had questions of whether they could support the measure be able to vote yes. It also will include some provisions to provide for the E-Verify system to be put into place, and that also gives some people a better feeling about being able to vote yes. And so of all the bills that we've been talking about over the last several months, this bill, 6136, I think has the most chance of being making it to the president's desk and being passed into law.
Newhouse stressed the needs of the agriculture industry are a priority in any immigration legislation. He says he also supports measures to address the DACA, and he said our farmers and ranchers must have access to a legal and reliable workforce in order to provide the world with a safe and abundant supply of food. Coming up next, according to fire officials, the Milepost 22 fire located north of Vantage is now fully contained after scorching just over 7,600 acres. Pending the investigation into the recent death of 40-year-old Ed Bromley, the Chelan PUD has shut down one of the spillway gates at Rock Island Dam. The city of Wenatchee would like to remind all residents of Wenatchee that the ordinance to ban fireworks, established in May of 2017, is still in effect. And the Cascade School District has control over Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue plans to expand its station in Plain. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Welcome back. In other news, according to fire officials, the Milepost 22 fire located north of Vantage is now fully contained after scorching just over 7,600 acres. The fire started on June 21st around 3 o'clock in the morning. A team of 275 firefighters from around the state mobilized to the blaze just 2 miles north of Vantage as it threatened homes and infrastructure. Crews from the Department of Natural Resources will continue to patrol the fire perimeter. The cause is still under investigation. Well, pending the investigation into the recent death of 40-year-old Ed Bromley, the Chelan PUD has shut down one of the spillway gates at Rock Island Dam. Bromley was struck and fatally injured by a piece of steel during crane testing on the dam spillway on June 13th. The State Department of Labor and Industries opened an investigation just after the accident, and the PUD also is conducting an investigation which is being handled by an outside expert and has notified federal dam regulators about that accident. By law, Labor and Industries have 6 calendar months to complete an investigation. Rock Island Dam has 31 spillway gates, 19 generators, and is the oldest dam on the Columbia River. Well, the city of Wenatchee would like to remind all residents of Wenatchee that the ordinance to ban fireworks, which was established in May of 2017, is still in effect. With Independence Day a little over a week away, the city says the fireworks ban is in place for the health and safety of the community because of high fire danger. The fireworks ordinance makes it illegal for anyone to possess, sell, or discharge fireworks within the city limits, with the exception of those with a fireworks permit or for agricultural use. The public fireworks display, organized through the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce, will continue this year at Walla Walla Point Park. NCW Life will have live coverage of the fireworks show beginning at 9 o'clock on Wednesday, July 4th. Also in a news release earlier today, the Grant County Sheriff's Office says the use of fireworks are not allowed in unincorporated Grant County, which includes Crescent Bar, the Gorge Amphitheater and Campground, Sunland Estates, Marine Heights, and Marine View. Incorporated cities in Grant counties have laws and regulations specific to their jurisdiction. Well, the Cascade School District has control over Lake Wenatchee Fire and Rescue's plans to expand its station in Plain. The fire district would like to acquire 5 acres of school-owned property next to Beaver Valley Elementary School for a larger fire station. The school board meets tonight to consider putting the property up for sale. Chief Lamar reported in a recent NCW Life interview that the property has been in their sights for a number of years.
So we took a look at our station in Plain, which is next to Cascade's Beaver Valley Elementary School, and that's a site that looks central to our area. If you drew a 10-mile radius around that station, a propensity of our homeowners live within 10 miles of that station, central to the community. And the school district next door had 10 acres. They bought back in the late 1990s, early 2000 period, built Beaver Valley Elementary School. So we had reached out to them and said, at any point in time, if you don't use your excess land, if you're interested in getting rid of it, we would be interested in acquiring it so we could increase our footprint for development in the future.
Now, where was that?
That was about 2 years ago we contacted them. However, last fall, they reached out to us and said, we are interested in letting go of that property. Originally about 6 acres, now it's down to about 5, and it co-joins the property we have there currently.
Chief Lamar acknowledges there are residents of the area that don't want a fire station in their backyard, but he stresses that the district will work with its neighbors to mitigate any issues. For the full interview with Chief Lamar, visit ncwlife.com. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
It turns out, some people are more likely to do well at charter college and succeed in a new career. So, what's this charter type? Charter types are go-getters. Charter types follow through. Charter types love a challenge. If you're a hard worker looking for a fast path to a better career, you're just our type. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Vominos junk haulers, big or small, they haul it all. Vominos junk haulers are experienced at hauling junk from your household items to yard and construction debris. That old hot tub and eyesore, Vominos, will make it Vominos. Recycling is a priority to Vominos junk haulers. They'll haul away your old appliances and electronics. And for the do-it-yourselfers, Vominos Junk Haulers also rents trucks and trailers. Call Vominos Junk Haulers and Moving Service today to schedule your free estimate.
Hi, Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. When you think of Alpine Air in Wenatchee, think of professional, friendly customer service for all your heating and cooling needs. Alpine Air partners with Carrier, manufacturers of some of the best heating and air conditioning equipment available today. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Visit our store in Wenatchee, meet our people, see our shop. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Monday. Mason Marenko's two-run home run in the top of the 8th inning completed a comeback from 5 runs down as the Wenatchee Apple Sox defeated the Port Angeles Lefties on Sunday. 8-7 was the final. Wenatchee found itself down 5 runs after 5 innings, but started the comeback in the 6th, scoring 4 to trail by 1. Then Marenko stepped up in the 8th with Joey Magro aboard and launched his second homer of the season over the left field wall. On the mound, Curtis Boffus pitched 6 relief innings to earn his second victory of the season. After taking 2 of 3 from the lefties over the weekend, winning on Friday 9-7 in 10 innings and losing on Saturday 13-8, the Apple Sox have a well-deserved day off today before hosting Bend in the first of 3 games tomorrow night at Paul Thomas Senior Field at 7:05. Also Sunday in the West Coast League, Matt James hit a solo home run in the top of the 8th to break a 3-3 tie, give Bellingham a 4-3 win over Victoria at Royal Athletic Park. Walla Walla brought 9 men to the plate in a 4-run 5th inning and made it hold up in a 5-3 win over Portland on Sunday. Also, Bend scored 12 runs on 18 hits, including home runs by Michael Markinton, Ian Nowak, and Colin Rung in the Elks' 12-5 win over Corvallis. Ryan Fish's RBI single in the bottom of the 9th scored Taylor Wright at the Kelowna Falcons, came back to beat Yakima Valley 8-7. The only game on tap today in West Coast League has Victoria at Walla Walla with a start time at 6:35. Well, 4 local high school soccer players were selected by the Washington State Soccer Coaches Association to the All-State 4A team. Congratulations to Eastmont's Johan Espinoza, a first-team selection. Wenatchee's Luis Navarrete and Eastmont's Flavio Espinoza are second-team selections. Eastmont's Manny Lopez is an honorable mention. Congratulations to those 4 young men. The Wenatchee Rams improved to 6-0 over the weekend at Western Washington Football Alliance play. Wenatchee traveled to Spokane and knocked off the Wolfpack 41-6, the final score. Rams will host the South Sound Nighthawks this Saturday at Lee Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl with a kickoff scheduled for 6 o'clock. Well, the Mariners' rough road trip continued Sunday with a 5th loss in 6 games. Boston shut out Seattle 5-0 as Chris Sale improved to 7-4. He went 7 innings, allowing no runs on 4 hits and struck out 13. Marco Gonzalez took the loss for the Mariners, allowing 5 runs on 7 hits and 6 innings. Manager Scott Servais said he had a feeling early on it was going to be a low-scoring affair.
Yeah, Chris Sale was on top of his game, no doubt. He had really good stuff today, and everybody knows he's a really good competitor. When he's getting the off-speed pitches and the slider was really a dominant pitch for him today, like it often is. But tight ball game. Marco was throwing the ball great through 4 innings. Just got away from him a little bit. They put some good at bats in him against him in the 5th, and they put some runs together. But it's one of those games you're thinking, first team scores. Things will probably, the momentum will go a certain way there, and it certainly went their way there in the 5th inning.
Now, Sunday's loss put Seattle's record at 1-5 on the current 10-game road trip as they head to Baltimore today. Servais said he still believes his club is right there and has a chance against the Orioles.
We didn't have a great week. I look at what's happened the last week. We turned the page. We go over to Baltimore and hopefully get it going again. And everybody, chipping in. The offense, the bullpen, the starting pitching, everybody doing their job, and we'll be fine. We've got a good club. We knew this was going to be a tough stretch. We've been very competitive in most of the games. Been right there. We would have liked to have won a few more. Didn't happen, but you keep moving forward.
Felix Hernandez on the mound for the Mariners today against the O's' Andrew Kashner. With the Mariners' loss Sunday, Seattle trails Houston by 4.5 games in the American League West as we check the Les Schwab scoreboard. Yuli Gurriel's grand slam home run highlighted an 8-run second inning as Houston beat Kansas City 11-3. Chicago scored 5 of the 5th and 5 of the 6th on 3 home runs as the White Sox took out Oakland 10-3. And Jose Barrios struck out 12 over 7 innings of shutout ball as Minnesota blanked Texas 2-0. Kendrys Morales hit a home run at the top of the 10th inning as Toronto edged the LA Angels in Anaheim by a final of 7-6. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. For the second year in a row, the Department of Fish and Wildlife has opened a season to fish sturgeon in Lake Roosevelt. In tonight's feature story, NCW Life's Eric Granstrom traveled with fishing magician David Graybill and guide Austin Mosier to Kettle Falls to learn more about the fishery.
Talk about this particular fishery, Dave. Dave, of course, also wears multiple hats. He is a commissioner with the Department of Fish and Wildlife. This is quite a success story, really, to even be out here fishing for sturgeon on Lake Roosevelt.
Yes, to my knowledge, it's the first time in probably 20 years at least that there's been a catch and keep sturgeon fishery here on this area of Lake Roosevelt, and due to the Colville tribe, a hatchery program that they started and had better than anticipated survival on their hatchery stocks. And so this fishery was introduced to keep the number of hatchery fish within reason. And last year was their first season, and they took 3,000 sturgeon within the slot limit that was allowed. And this year they tightened up the slot limit, and they're going to put a cap of 1,000 fish harvest on this season, with the hope that this will be a sustainable fishery now. That as these hatchery fish move up into the slot limit, as they grow from juveniles into adults, that we'll be able to keep this fishery going for a long, long time. And one of the things that's exciting about a fishery like this too is the boon that it provides for these small communities. At dinner last night, the restaurant owner came over to visit with us, and he was ecstatic about the number of people now at this time of year that are showing up at his restaurant because they're here to go sturgeon fishing.
You got it. Okay, next up, Mr. Shoe. Tony, go ahead. Coming up. Little one. Still. Nice. Good job, Eric. Stop a little. There you go. Thank you. You bet.
This is a young sturgeon. If you look, he's got all the little scoots on his back there. Those things are really sharp.
Healthy.
He's a pretty little fish. We are happy to have this fish. It's been a tough day of fishing out here, and he's a cute little guy. You know, it's good for the species. So we're happy to have him and happy to see smaller fish in the water. So.
Time to go grow up.
Pretty. Go!
You can see more of Eric's trip on our NCW Life magazine this week, as well as on our website at ncwlife.com. We'll be back with a recap of some of our stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
I grew up with an addicted father. I became an addict myself, so we lost everything. We were homeless, so we found ourselves in a tent. That changed everything for me. The Work First program got me in touch with Goodwill. I could partner with Goodwill and get on-the-job training and get paid for it. It was the best decision that I've ever made. They didn't care that I had a background. They saw something inside of me. When people donate to Goodwill, they're actually helping fund these programs that I was involved in. I owe everything to Goodwill. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Lakeshland Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service, online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards? And of course, mailboxes. Schland Mailboxes, everything you need in one small package.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor.
Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And let's get out to our weather window where we had a pretty nice day today with temperatures mainly in the middle 70s as we take a look up north around the Methow River and the Columbia River around the Brewster Pateros areas from our Billy Goat Sky-Fi Tower camera. And you can see a few clouds along the horizon there and some blue sky, but lots of wind today. There is a red flag warning in place until 8 o'clock tonight. That means low humidities, high winds, fairly warm temperatures, and that could help aid any fires that are started right now, or fires that may start will really spread quickly because of these conditions. But speaking of fires, we did have some spotty fires after last night's light show. Check this out. This is our Sky-Fi Tower Cam PTZ camera from Badger Mountain last night. I think that storm hit about 2 or 2:30 a.m. this morning, and boy, it put on quite a display. I'm sure you heard the wind. Some folks had some very heavy rainfall at times. The wind was strong, and yes, that lightning and thunder last night. We don't expect that the next few days. What we will be seeing as we take a look at what we're seeing cloud-wise right now, there are a few clouds off to the west. Most of those, as you can see, in western Washington and to our north. As we transition into Tuesday afternoon, that storm system that's out in the Pacific will move our direction. So it will bring maybe a few more clouds, especially to western Washington by Tuesday, but not much for us. We'll just see clear skies tomorrow, and the good news, much lighter winds for our Tuesday with wind speeds only about 5 to 10 miles an hour. But you can see that frontal boundary along the Pacific and the eastern Pacific. It will creep a little bit closer on Wednesday at 4 p.m. and that could increase our cloudiness somewhat on Wednesday, but we are under a very strong westerly flow right now, and that usually indicates pretty benign weather, which is what we'll see this week. Not much happening. A few more clouds on Thursday at 4 p.m. We could see the winds kick up a little bit Thursday as well. You can notice the lighter colored shade in western Washington. There could be a few scattered showers that way, but all in all, we will see sunny conditions, dry conditions as well, with temperatures upper 70s to lower 80s. Let's take a look now at your Quick Lube and Tune forecast. Tonight will drop down to 53 degrees. That's one of the coolest overnight lows that we've seen in a while. Sunny with the west breeze tomorrow and 77, warmer on Wednesday and 80. I talked about possibly some wind on Thursday, but still awfully nice, mostly sunny and 78, and will stay pretty persistent right through the upcoming weekend with mostly sunny skies, highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Well, have you heard about the new boarding procedures at Pangbourne Airport? Move out of the way. These are some grumpy travelers.
The new Horizon.
According to airport officials, the cows did not have the new TSA-approved identification. And if you have a video of the day you'd like to see on the NCW Life Evening News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and news with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
Hi, I'm candidate Bryn Sherrill, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.